dead. Emo ain't dead. Emo ain't dead. Emo ain't dead. I stay in my head, try to forget what they said. Try to ignore what I'm doing. If you sleep, put them to bed. If you touch, I grab my 9. Back in the day when shit was fine. Like nail polish, look at mine. Tell the truth, look in my eyes. I got bad ways. Hotel Transylvania. Don't make me go and grab my bank. Keep back, make you lose a finger.
Yo, it's Gut with Gut Talk. We got a special guest in the building.
The one and only, you know what I'm saying, the Sith Lord, you know what I'm saying, MidnightMxnte, and we in this bitch and we about to cook shit, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. But tell me about your day. Tell me all about it. You know what I'm saying?
My day was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was drinking a lot of coffee and shit, you know what I'm saying. Past 2 days. I know that's not long, but like 2 days, it's hard to get through 2 days, bro.
I didn't know you were a coffee drinker. I've known you for 3-4 years and I never knew that.
I'm not a coffee drinker. I've joined the evil coffee association. That's how
All right, let's get into it though. So, all right, Monte, we all know I know you very well, but you know, this is for all the viewers who don't know you. Where are you from? And
I am from GI, Gary, Indiana, 1134 West 31st Avenue, Glen Park. You know what I'm saying, you already know what the fuck going on. Real 219 shit.
All right, and what was the upbringing like in 219? You know, tell me about it. Not a lot of people have been to Gary. I actually was recently about a month ago, and 2 years, so I've only been there twice in my life, and it was a pretty in and out kind of deal. I probably spent about 3 hours there, if that.
Harsh, really harsh. You know, you get roasted about everything, the shoes, everything. You know, can't be out at a certain time of night. You know, yeah, it's just really dog eat dog. You know, a lot of I had someone like commit suicide in like middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah, because they were talking. Yeah, they were talking about her and all sorts of shit. So ruthless, really type shit. So that's, you know, they don't give a fuck because it's like we're all in the same place. We all fucked up. So it's like I'm fucked up too. So I'm finna pick on you to make me feel less fucked up because we all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, I got banned from Family Dollar from stealing.
Wow, you jump right into that. What age would you get banned from Family Dollar?
Shit, I had to be like what? Like 14, 15.
And this was in Gary, you got banned from there?
Yeah, we would pull up with my brother, Sparky Lucy. I know you already know what the fuck going on. And yeah, and we pull up. Me and one of my other brothers from another mother, Shy Xavier, you know what I'm saying? We go down to the store. We go in. It's hot as fuck. It's like 97 degrees. I got the biggest fucking coat on. I look suspicious as fuck.
Why do you have a coat and was 97 degrees?
Because I'm finna steal. So I go in. You know what I'm saying? And I take all the fucking candy bars off of the shelf.
What candy bars?
I think it was like the Hershey's with the toffee in it and shit.
I don't
like
eat
the
chocolate,
light skin packet.
Maybe I don't eat chocolate at all, so I'm not too hip to it. But continue.
But I was like 14. But anyways, yeah. So I go in there and yeah, first thing I see, I go straight to the candy. I shovel the entire rack into I have an inside Inspector Gadget pocket in this big ass coat every single time. And yeah, they caught up to me because my family, the dude was the worker was friends with my stepdad, so they're always coming down here stealing, so I got banned.
Just like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't even me. You know what's crazy? I got banned when I didn't even go that time. I got banned for for fucking Shazavian. I wasn't even there. I had hair too, and he had a low cut and everything. He went there on his own and stole some shit, and they said it was me.
So did you get the candy the day that you were going like this? Did you get all of it?
I got my shit, facts. Yeah. We all got that shit. But like, you know what I'm saying, the when I got banned, I didn't do it.
So how much you come up that time when you took all the candy? Like how many bars roughly, if you had an estimate?
I probably had like 10 bars, bro.
You know, honestly, for you going like this, I expected more than 10. That was kind of a letdown.
Bro, but like whatever I ain't get at the store, my stepdad worked at fucking The Oreo factory, and he used
Oh, so you were getting it from there then?
he used to bring big ass Santa Claus bags of Oreos home, and we used to not do shit. So he be like, y'all ain't getting none. And as soon as he leave, I go in the room and take them bitches. And I wasn't really popular at school, so that's how I go. I go to school with like 4 packs of Oreos, just giving them bitches away to people I want to talk to, and then we'll be friends for the day. And then the next day, I'll still be a lame ass nigga. But yeah, it was cool.
All right, so you're getting the Oreos from the Oreo factory and getting them out. Just were you giving out to mainly females or everything?
Nah, it was like anybody, like, know what I'm saying, like back in the day. I don't know what makes you cool in school now, but like back in the day in like middle school, what made you cool was either the drip or the shit that you brought type shit. Because you like, you know how now we have drug dealers, we had candy dealers. Like they're on the bus or they're in the school, they catch you selling candy on school grounds, it's over with.
I remember
they
when
confiscate
I was in
shit.
elementary school, I used to have a locker, and I used to have like be selling. I'd have rows of candy, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd be whacking people. I'd be buying like this shit that would damn near be expired, get for like 30, 20, 10 cents, whatever it is. Upcharging, it'd be like $1 for anything. So one, you know, I'd be like a candy bar $1, and I'd just become 90 cents. These kids were being like $5, so I'd be making $5 off like a 40-cent, 50-cent investment. You know, it's quite the turnaround. You know what I mean? But okay, so you're in Gary, you're hitting licks on Family Dollars, getting banned. What else was going on? You know, you just living your everyday life,
We're
or
stealing bikes. We used to steal bikes and take them apart at my house in the shed, and then build them onto the bikes that we owned and make super bikes.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a super bike?
It's basically like, my bike was regular until
It was like a mountain bike, maybe?
my bike was regular, like a regular size, until I snuck into your backyard and took your bike and took it apart and made my bike better with the pieces from your bike.
So was your childhood just consisting of stealing, or was there anything other than that? Because so far, everything you've told me so far is just you stealing some shit. This whole interview has just been you stealing shit.
Nah.
I'm kind of concerned. I need to check my pockets right now, or what's the deal here?
No, when I wasn't stealing, I was a backyard wrestler. I wanted to be that. I was
like the WWE.
I couldn't go to the WWE, but my fucking uncle, this is true facts, my uncle was a professional wrestler type shit, and he taught, he was like doing the boxing in Gary at the time.
I would imagine the boxing league in Gary got pretty serious.
The boxing, I could never go, but like, yeah, I had fucking epilepsy at the time, so I couldn't go. So yeah, he was a professional wrestler, and I thought that shit was raw. So I was like, hey, I'm trying to do it. And then my mom told him that I had seizures and shit. And then he was like, nah.
Wait,
I was like,
I hate to cut you off. So when you were having seizures, did you know it was a seizure? I've never had a seizure in my life.
No, we didn't know what it was. They had me taking big ass horse pills and shit, and I stopped taking them. And then I was better. Like, and you're not supposed to recover from epilepsy. They said that's uncurable, but like, I guess I'd like willed it away or something.
When's the last time you've had a seizure?
Like 8-9 years ago. And that's a long ass time.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
But back to your story. So you're trying to be the next Brock Lesnar or whatever. I can't think too many wrestlers. That's the first one I came up with.
So basically my uncle said, nah, you can't wrestle and do all that other shit. So I was like, all right, fuck you, I'm gonna wrestle anyway. And I used to like take boxes, all sorts of shit. Our house was on a main road, so people used to drive by and like yell out the car, hey, stop that shit, because I'm putting my brother through tables and shit.
So they probably thought this is a for real serious fight, not y'all just playing around.
Nah, they just said like we're stupid for doing, why aren't we doing something else? But like, you know, I just want to do that shit. I even had earrings at one point, and they got fucking like split both of my ears at the time because I was childish as fuck, and I was wrestling, and I fucked my ears up for YouTube.
Yeah, how many views did you get?
That channel actually went up. Shit, like I have a video on that channel right now with like 20K.
Really?
If you can find it.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
find
not
that
gonna
shit.
tell you where it is though. But
20K. That's a good amount of views. That's more than most artists get. Just for wrestling. Do you ever look?
Not for wrestling though. I was like wrestling. I used to watch this fucking dude that wrestled on YouTube too. So like, and then this fucking this wrestler that I think died by getting squished by a trash compactor.
What the fuck?
And then I wanted to do it. I still wanted to wrestle after I like heard that like he's a backyard wrestler, and then he was doing some shit and got smashed in a trash compactor, but yeah.
So okay, we'll transition away from the wrestling. So you're in Gary, you're doing all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you start leaning towards the lane of music or start aspiring in that?
Really, my brother Sparky type shit. He started doing it like, but the way he did it was he take his phone, and everyone had Androids at the time. Probably had like an LG. And we had the Chromebooks when them bitches first came out. Everybody thought Chromebooks was that shit. And then you fucking and then we play a type beat on YouTube and then record with the fucking phone camera and rap over it.
No, hell no.
And then go to
How old were you when you were doing this? You had to be young.
I was like 15. Had to be like 15. And then yeah, so then we would use a YouTube converter and make it just audio. So like whole time it's me rapping in front of the computer screen, and I put it on SoundCloud, and it's doing decent numbers.
So
but everyone's like, this shit's garbage.
Yeah, I would imagine. Like I said, every interview, pretty much every artist will say, "Oh yeah, I put this music on." Everyone said that shit was trash. Looking back, do you think that shit was trash? Do you think there was potential with it?
That shit was garbage. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think I really took a hold of like what I want to create and what sounds good to me until like most recently, probably.
Most recently.
Yeah, we got some classic ass shit. Like, dude, I from Trap Story to Bruce Wayne to fucking to Cheat Codes to those were literally hits, and we never promoted not a fucking thing. It was like 3K, 6K.
But we'll get to that. I think we're moving a little too fast before we get into the monumental hits.
But yeah, it's just
so.
Yeah.
And Gary, though, you're in school. You said you didn't really have friends. You were getting bullied. Did you alert to that a little bit, or?
Yeah,
exactly?
basically, when I was in like the 4th grade, I was born in Gary, grew up there for a little bit, went to Minnesota for like 6 years.
How was it, Minnesota?
It was literally like easy. Like everything's ahead, all the schools and shit were ahead, all that shit. We were in the Boys and Girls Club. We had mentors. We had all sorts of shit. And then some shit happened. So was
Minnesota a blessing compared to Gary?
Yeah, definitely it was. Our mom tried to get us out the way when they did that, but then it just didn't work. And then we ended up coming back.
You went back to Gary?
Yeah, we went back to Gary, and imagine going from being completely ahead, everyone civilized, to coming back, and the first school we're coming back for 4th grade, and my brother 3rd grade, and they're fucking beating up teachers while my mom's trying to fucking enroll us. Like they're cursing, all sorts of shit.
Acting a fool.
Yeah, and we never really saw anything like that. Because we didn't go to school out there until around like 4th grade. Like I was in Gary when I was in preschool. We went to Minnesota. Came back when I was in 4th. Yeah, came back when I was in 4th grade. And then when coming from Minnesota to Gary, that's day and night. So it's like we got tortured. We literally got tortured. Pretty much our entire fucking time enrolled in school there until I was literally about middle school, high school.
So what do you mean by tortured exactly? Do you mean just by how kids were acting, or
they
kids
just
acting
like,
towards you?
Like they just act like, it's just like I said, it was dog eat dog. Like they're chewing each other's heads off, or they're trying to fuck with you just for no reason, literally. It's like, New kid will come in and enroll there, won't really say shit. You get talked about for not saying shit or whatever, because you know you have hierarchies and shit, and groups, and if
Cliques,
you don't, and cliques, and if you don't choose a clique, then they choose a clique for you. Then you're either a lame, or you're this, or you're the cool guy that doesn't really talk,
sports,
and
all that type of shit.
yeah, but then you know everyone's trying to when you're trying to be everyone's friend, that's when they shit on you. So that's how they go.
So okay, then what made you? We're gonna jump ahead a little bit. So what made you come from? You went Gary, Minnesota. Gary, did you go from Gary to where you are now?
Yep.
Or was there anything in between? So what made you? Because Gary, Indiana, to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, where we currently are, that's obviously kind of a big transition, big difference. What made I guess you come here? That's kind of a random spot. A lot of people ask me when I came from Iowa to here, well, why here? I have my reason. What was the reason why you came to Green Bay?
Yeah,
obviously it wasn't your choice per se, but
yeah, my mom passed when I was 16, so I fucking so I was fucking up. I was still living in Gary at the time, but I didn't want to live with my stepdad, so I started fucking up because I was living with my grandma, so I started fucking up over there, and then it was either.
What do you mean by fucking up? Just acting a fool or what?
If you lose a parent, especially like one of the only real parents you have, then it's like, I don't want nobody else to tell me what to do. If she's not here, then who's telling me what to do?
Who are you to tell me?
Yeah, who are you telling me what to do? Or if she was here, then she'd say this, or she'd think that, So I was just fucking up, and it was either they're gonna go to the system, or we're gonna go to our aunt, which was in the will or something, probably the only thing, or if there was a will or whatever. We just ended up going with our aunt out here, and it's pretty much been history since then.
So were you pretty upset having to move out here, or what was your mindset when you had to come out here?
When I moved out here, it was pretty much like, because it's either go to the system in Gary, you don't want to go to the system in Gary, or it's go and explore something that you probably never explored before. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I don't know what to think, so I'm just in the whip, like on the highway.
So what's your first memory? The first thing you did when you came to the city, was it just you laid in bed, or what did you do the first night you came out here?
Literally, as soon as I brought my bags in the house, literally the first night I was here in Green Bay, I had never seen the studio, never did anything. I was recording, like I was telling you, I was recording, like rapping to the camera, recording some other shit, third party.
Yeah, like you basically weren't recording at that point.
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of that shit, especially when I was living with my grandma before all that shit happened. And then so when I'm in the car, I'm like, oh, this shit's over. No more music, no more. I quit YouTube because my mom used to fuck with my YouTube a lot, so I used to always do YouTube because I knew she was always watching and shit. But then when she left, that type of energy left, and I just didn't want to do that shit. So I was like, all right, cool. So then she really didn't like when we made music either, because we'd be like cursing in the living room and shit, and then she'd be like yelling at us and shit like that. So then so I ended up coming out here, and as soon as we didn't even put our bags down, our cousin that we didn't even know was our cousin yet was like, oh, you want to go to the studio tonight? And we're like, yeah, we ain't never been to a studio before. And then
you might as well, you here anyway.
Yep. And then pretty much since then it's just been, oh, I'm gonna rap.
So did you record anything that night, or did you just watch other people record?
We wrote some shit, but we didn't record that night, and then we didn't go back to that studio like ever.
You never went back to that one ever again?
No. And then somehow we met our engineer Jake, which you know Jake.
Yeah, I know Jake.
Yeah, we met our engineer Jake, and we used to catch the bus to his house straight from school, me and my brother. Then me and my brother and like probably some friends from school. Then it became me, Sparky, and Lil Jimmy, which you also know.
I know the whole little clique. So you guys were all just hitting the bus and going over to
going to Jake's house.
So we'll go over to another lane a little bit. So what was the schooling like in Wisconsin compared to Gary, and how you were the new kid? How old are you? 16, 15?
16.
So okay, you're kind of new kid. I'm guessing it's around sophomore-ish year, around there, junior year.
Yeah.
So obviously, everyone, I know how this shit works. Everyone's like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
Immediately accepted and like chased after and all sorts of stuff.
So you come to Green Bay. What was the difference between the schooling from Gary, Minnesota, however you want to work, to Green Bay? Like, were people fucking you right away? Because, when you're a new kid, everyone's kind of like, especially 16, sophomore, junior, high school, everywhere. Everyone's kind of like, oh, who's that? Who's that?
It was like,
I mean, you're also kind of, you're not the normal person. I mean, you're like 6'3". You know what I'm saying? I don't know what exactly you look like at that point because I know you, but I would imagine you're a little out the norm in that school. You know what I mean?
So instantly accepted type deal, and then I was like, it was pretty much everything was new. So I was just, you haven't picked the crowd, you haven't made any enemies, you haven't anything. So everyone was talking to us. Everyone wanted to, link up. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. We never ever fuck with anybody like that before. So it was just.
So it probably felt good.
Yeah, it was just me and my brother. That's all we really fucked with. And then some people back, a few people back in Gary, type deal that I still talk to this day. Shout out Aubrion and a bunch of other people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but yeah, that's how we used to do it.
So. What you got any stories from when you were in school? Anything crazy, or is it just going to school in and out?
It was like my second day, and then the counselor called me in the office and was like, "Oh, I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that," and
off the second day of school.
Yeah, and basically like told me like, girls are gonna try to get in your way. Basically gave me a speech and told me that, oh, you're a good looking individual and don't let those things distract you.
I guess that's fair.
That type of deal. That's what she told me. True story. I'm not even gassing, like real shit.
You know what I'm saying? So okay, we'll get back to then, I guess. So you, Jimmy, and Sparky are all hitting the studio. How are the songs quality wise? How do you think you're forming as an artist at this point? Do you think you're decent?
It was better than recording how I used to record. Now I upgraded to like an actual studio, but Jake didn't really have his equipment figured out. We didn't know who we wanted to be. We were just rapping like anybody at that time. Shoreline Mafia was the thing, so we literally like rapped and made music and sounded exactly like Shoreline Mafia at one point. Then right after that, Blueface went up. Then we started making shit that sounded like Blueface. We're literally just copying like everyone, like basically blatantly copying everyone until we figured out our own shit.
So were you releasing these songs at this point, or were you just recording them?
Nope, we were dropping them, and we dropping so many before. I did hella name changes, everything, and I have so much music.
What were the names at that time?
It's always been Mxnte, but it was different variations and shit like that. And so I just started fucking just flooding shit. I have all sorts of songs. I've maxed out several SoundClouds. I have to get SoundCloud Pro. I just started over SoundCloud again. I'm finna max it out again because I have so much unreleased shit that soon it won't let me upload.
So what were the people around the area thinking of your music you're putting out? Because I'm assuming you're letting motherfuckers know you're putting out, you're promoting.
Well, I wish that's one of the things, like, I don't really wish I could redo anything but that, because it's like you can only be new once. And if I knew the advantage of being new at the time, then I would have did something way different. But we were getting good feedback. We actually getting talked about a lot in school, and they really start fucking with it, and then I stopped really fucking with school like that, and I was gonna drop out because I was like, oh, I could do this shit, this rap shit, blah blah. So I got.
So at that point, you're already thinking like you're gonna make it in rap. Like this is your career path. This is your mindset at that point.
Yeah, and you know, you're young, and you obviously think that I recently discovered the term overnight, so I thought that I even dropped a song called Overnight, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be the one. And 200 million songs later, it's still not the one.
Yeah, that's fair. So okay, so at this point, music you're starting to kind of put together, and then what kind of proceeds to school? Like how you said you were trying to drop out of school. Kind of how's your high school days kind of end up? Like give me the whole timeline or walk me through what happens.
Because I didn't like now is not, the environment has completely changed. Now it's not, oh, people are always fighting, people are always this, there's police officers at the school, all this other shit. Now it's pick a social group, and I was really antisocial, and I didn't really know how to talk to anyone, so I just wouldn't talk to people. Like
silent the whole day.
I wouldn't talk to people. People wanted to fuck with me. People wanted to hang out. People wanted to. I just didn't talk to people because I didn't know how. And then plus with how much shit I had going on, I just didn't really open up to people like that. You don't really trust anyone with the type of shit that I've seen and done. So it's like.
So were you balling any females at this point, or were you just curving everyone?
The advice that the counselor gave me that said, "Oh, don't do those things," I completely didn't take her advice, and I did those things.
The polar opposite.
Then I got in a really stupid ass situation with someone or whatever, and then I made a bunch of sad ass music because that's
Do you
around.
care to speak on this situation or no?
Nah, that's the time. That's the time Triple X came out. And all sorts of shit. So I tried to. Actually, Triple X came out right before. Right before I moved out from Gary. So I was
Would
like,
you consider him your biggest inspiration?
Yeah, I was like trying to be him most of the time. Dyed my hair blonde to the fucking scalp, and got yelled at by my mom, all sorts of shit. And then eventually got it dreaded. He's probably the only reason that I dreaded my shit in the first place, until I got off the dick riding. But then, so I was really inspired by his shit. And so so I started making a whole bunch of sad shit, and it started doing numbers. Like I was doing thousands of streams. I was fucking
all organic, no money behind it,
no money behind it. Like we had songs, just audios, doing thousands of views before that situation. And but yeah, I just started making a whole bunch of sad shit. Got sent to Milwaukee with my cousins for a minute. Shout out Alex and Ali, you know what I'm saying? And so then I started writing a bunch of sad shit. And I came back, got in a fight, and then start dropping it, and then it did like a few thousand or whatever.
Dropped the video of the fight?
No. I dropped the sad ass songs.
Oh, okay.
I started dropping that shit because I finally started being able to record. I started going to Jake's place again and all sorts of shit.
So were you paying him to record, or was he just having you over as much as you can, just pump?
I was paying him to record. I really I smoked too much weed, so I don't remember how I was getting the money at the time. I started working at McDonald's.
Just flipping burgers and using that money to record the studio.
Yeah, go record. Oh yeah, that's how. Duh. Yeah, that's how I used to do that shit. And I started smoking weed right before I moved from Gary. I used to sneak off and almost died coming down a fucking hill high trying to get home because I wasn't supposed to be out and all sorts of shit. And Jake used to smoke with us, so I'd be over there all the time for that too.
Just be out there recording, smoking, all type of shit.
Yeah.
So you end up graduating high school, right?
Yeah, I was real spotty and I was dropping music and doing a bunch of other shit, but I had I had a counselor that I was seeing when I was going to West High, and I used to always tell him that, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I could rap and just do this shit without and blah blah. And he basically just said, well, if that's what you want to be, then you can't walk around and not talk to anybody and all sorts of things like that. You need to know how to network. You need to you can't spread the types of the type of things that you make if you don't actively pursue it. Like, you could say, but until you do, it doesn't really manifest itself. And I took that and I ran with it.
Yeah, that's fair. So you got out of school. So what started getting your music to the next level from there? Were you just putting shit on SoundCloud? Did you put in all plats? Like, what was the rollout? Were you doing any rollouts, or was it just randomly dropping? Or
I was randomly dropping, but I was really like I was basically copying X and getting really in depth with the people that listen to my shit. So it was people at school that would tag me and repost it, all sorts of shit, and they just were really hooked on this really sad, basically copycat shit that I was doing. And yeah, so then I fucking and then I used to have a lot of movement on fucking Snapchat. Like, I used to get like 700 to 1,000 views and like 300 ads every like 5 minutes until my account maxed out. And I used to promote my shit that way by sending it to everyone. And yeah, so I just was pretty much like hands-on, like forcing everyone to hear it. And a lot of times, you fucking suck, you da 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 da. I get into arguments with people in DMs, all sorts of shit. People used to walk past me at school. Oh, that's that guy that thinks he can rap. All sorts of shit. Yeah. So yeah, I was pushing that shit out there, but I was on their ass. We were fighting about my songs being garbage. You know, and most of you were right. That shit was trash. But
you didn't see it
at that time, I wasn't taking that shit.
So okay, from there, let's move forward now. So, what do you think was the first move in your career to step it up to make it an actual career? Because I'm assuming at that time, compared to where you move forward, and then compared to where you are now, you wouldn't consider what that was a real music career at all, would you?
Not really. Until I got out of school and then was introduced to like the more street element, not even like being hard and keeping guns, and I was more like I sold shit. So I gained a reputation from being known from always selling to people, and that way still didn't really talk to people. So it's just, oh yeah, that cool dude that he does this and he does music, but he also sells. I don't really know him like that though. So it was always like that. So yeah, I start selling and types of shit. So then I started meeting all sorts of people that way. And we formed this group called BPM, and it was really supposed to be on some music shit, but then we started letting basically anybody get involved and start putting BPM in front of their name, and then it shifted from music shit because they were bringing bullshit, and then we started getting into the bullshit, and then I start shorting people, and then we start robbing people, and then we started getting robbed, and then yeah, all sorts of shit until it imploded. And
I'd like to say I'm part of this imploding process, but we'll get to that.
I'm one of the only surviving. I just want to make this, and in the real BPM, there's only me, Sparky, and Jimmy. There's no one else. But
no one else.
There's no one else. But yeah, that happened.
So since we're in that time period, we might as well talk about it. So I guess maybe we ask from your perspective, or we can give my perspective. So how did we meet from there? Because when I remember meeting you, the way I remember it is, I had a homie of mine named Dante and a couple other people, because I only managed one artist at the time. I had a bunch of people messaging me, probably like 3 or 4 people messaging me your music within like a week span. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? And messaging me saying this, that, and the third. Long story short, I go to a studio, and I asked some people in the studio, you know who this guy is, and I was told by 3 different people, oh yeah, he robbed my homie, or so, all 3 of them said some sort of negative
Lies.
shit that they heard.
Blasphemy.
And I was just like, oh, well, I was like,
It's not true.
I might as well not fuck with the guy, you know what I mean? And then there was one guy in the room who said, well, hey, bro, like, you know, I'm not gonna name names of everyone in the room, but they basically were saying, hey, bro, you might as well hear it out for yourself, you know what I mean? See who this guy is. I was like, yeah, I guess. So I don't know if you called me or texted me. I think so. I'm not.
Basically,
I don't really remember. Maybe you can say from your perspective. I don't really remember the
yeah.
thing.
Basically, I used to go to a lot of spots. So when the BPM shit started dying, like a few of us, like struggling members, used to like live with each other, all sorts of shit like that. So I started going to spots, and then I started being managed by a guy that you also know, Woodworth. You know, he started we did our first shows. It wasn't really anything, maybe like 20 people, 30 people max, all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, so from there, you know, he had his thing going on, I had my thing going on. We recorded a lot of shit, we did a lot of shit. We just didn't really see the same vision. So then that split off. So then now I'm back in the trap. Now I'm still going to spots. I'm getting stranded in Oshkosh. I'm doing a lot of shit. You know, I'm getting locked out mid fucking winter. Standing outside and below zero till like 3 a.m. All sorts of shit. And then then somehow I don't know if you got in contact with me or I got in contact with you, but you added me on Snapchat or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was
See, I told you I was Snapchat God. We met on Snapchat. You said meet you at Bay Park Square Mall.
Yep, that's exactly. I remember I came with, it was me,
Tony was there.
Tony, my friend Sean, and this girl Ashley was my neighbor. We all went there together, and I told them on the way there, I said, it was some shit, you know, because I was kind of trying to find a way not to work with you, because everyone kept telling me negative shit, so I was trying to find excuses. Yeah. And I remember it was some shit, you hand me your phone, and it was like Instagram profile views, and I said in my head, if he had over 300 profile views on his profile, I'm gonna work with him. And the shit said like 1,400. It was some ridiculous ass number. Yeah. And I was looking at your like followers. 2,000. Or something like that. I remember your profile visitors were more than your followers. And I'm like, how the fuck does that even work? Why does he have more profile visitors than followers?
Because I used to troll in comments.
But I didn't know that at the time. I'm like, is that many people tapping at this guy, but they're not following him? Even if they're not following him, that means that's how many people are at least seeing what's up with him. I was like, I gotta start working up.
It's either I was trolling in comments or from like the dumb street shit I used to do. Like people used to either be hating or praising it.
Yeah, and I was just kind of from there basically thinking, okay, we'll see what goes on with them, you know, and if we don't see shit don't work out, we'll just cut it quick. And you know, I didn't really know what it was gonna be. We're just seeing kind of what's happening. And then I remember maybe like a week later or so, we brought you to the studio. And if I remember correctly, the first song you ever recorded was a Red Light. Was that the first song you ever recorded?
I wrote that shit at my aunt's house. I was sleeping on a fucking air mattress. I used to have cars lined up and down the street, and I would go car to car and serve them until because my aunt was acting like she didn't know what I was doing. And then when it became painfully obvious, and even next door, the house got raided because someone was doing something there, I was still selling the next day. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, if you're gonna do this, like you just can't do it at home. That's like the number one rule, not to do it at home. So yeah, and then it was obvious, like I had nothing. I was sleeping on the fucking floor with a cover. I start coming in the house with fucking air mattresses, all sorts of outfits and shoes and all sorts of shit, and I'm flashing the money on Facebook and everything. And then,
on the book of all the places.
Yeah.
So then I remember, we'll get back to what I was talking about. So you record Red Light, and I remember one of the lines was like, best in the base, something, I can't remember. Your bitch wanna fuck me. If you play the song, I could rap the whole thing bar for bar. I just gotta hear it once more time because
those were insane times. I definitely wrote that shit. After I had got out of this thing with this undisclosed female entity, and yeah, instead of like doing the sad shit when I got out of a lot of other shit in my life, I was like, I'm gonna do some hard shit. Created a song called Red Light. Recorded that shit at Garrett's house in front of Gutt, like the second time we met up together.
There was a couple other people I think.
Muncho was there. Shout out Muncho.
Yes, sir. And I remember you recorded that shit, and right off the rip, I was like, oh my god, this shit's hard. And then I think we put that shit out, and it just went boom. I think the reason why it zoomed is because, first of all, the song quality-wise, probably the best quality you ever had recording.
Yeah.
For just like simply like audio recording. I posted it, and you know, a lot of the people who had probably my friends Snapchat didn't know who you were. So it was you promoting it, plus me promoting it, plus the quality. But that song started zooming, and right from there, we just started. Every day it was just hitting the studio. I swear to God, I don't even know how many times.
We're literally going everywhere together. We're doing shows. We're doing all sorts of shit.
Yeah, and then
we played it for the first time at Jim's Music and basically stole the entire city.
Yeah, that was a wild show too.
So it was tough.
The venue was like probably 150 cap room. We stuffed like 280, 300 people, wall to wall, just going crazy. I remember that, and like the show too, bro. The crazy thing was there was only like 4 or 5 people. I think it was because it was Sunshine, Saya, Muncho, Garrett, you know what I mean? We didn't have some fat lineups like a lot of times the shows that do now be 10, 11 people. We had like 5 people.
Bowser was there when I didn't really know him. Shout out Bowser.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But so then we go from there, and then next thing you know, you're performing in Green Bay, everywhere. But the main thing I wanted to ask from you is, so we had that going on. Then we formed, kind of me and you formed together the clique, you know, BSC. So, you know, some people, you know, this could get a little controversial to an extent, but what did you think of BSC, being as it was kind of named after you because, you know, you were the big shark, you know what I'm saying? You were kind of like the headline artist, at least when we first started it. And, you know, me and you were kind of the ones who essentially formed it. It was mainly also a lot of people you would find and then pitch them to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only a couple people I got myself. You kind of found every fucking person pretty much.
Yeah, fucking Wild Child was the first. Like, Wild Child got me off of YouTube beats. I used to always use YouTube beats. He's the first person that I used to fucking collab with. Like, he's the first producer I collab with. And yeah, that's how we got off those shits.
Yeah, I remember you found Wild Child. I think you found Keenan. I think you found Nexus.
Yeah,
I brought Saya. I'll take my credit on that. That was me.
Me and Keenan met because I used to fucking be at spots, and then someone oh, you should fuck with this guy Keenan, he has a Juice WRLD feature, all sorts of shit. And then I was like, all right. So she ended up putting that together. We ended up talking, and we made he sent me an open, and we made a song called Friday the 13th, and it took off. So then, yeah, that's how. Then I was like, oh, you know, Gutt and BSE, and yeah.
Yeah, I think if I remember, Keenan was actually before we had BSE, because I remember at that time I think it was just you, Saya, and Keenan. I think it was just you three.
Yeah.
Before, and then, but since we're talking about the BSE, what did you think, looking back on the genesis of how BSE started to the prime of it? How did that feel being part of it? What did you think of it looking back on it?
Well, the first time, you know, it was pretty unmatched. We were doing a lot of shit, and then we revamped it, did even more shit. We had Noah, media plug. You know what I'm saying, he was shooting everything. He was putting everything out.
He was shooting a video every once, at least a week.
Literally a week.
At least.
Started the BSC channel. Had Saya dropping a song like all the time. Like, everyone was dropping.
I remember we put out, I hate to cut you off, we put out Groove. That was the first video we ever put out. And I remember we put it out, and the cool thing was everyone was posting, but we put no money behind it. I remember that shit did 2K views in like 2 days. All organic, not a fucking dollar behind it, all that shit. And I remember that was the most insane thing ever.
And Thought Room used to live with me, so we used to always fucking shoot videos and do vlogs and all sorts of shit. So
I remember, but that was probably the most insane thing ever. Is real life, in this, especially this area, 2K views in 2 days with not a dollar behind it. You know what I mean? And then everyone was putting shit out. We were doing shows.
When we did Back Up with Brad, I think that was probably the most. Back Up with Brad is probably like top 2 most interactive by the city, but number 1 was me, Charlie, Eric, and Garrick when we did Monster. I feel like pretty much everyone was co-signing that shit then and posting it.
Yeah, I forgot about that song. So that song was going up like crazy. The backup, I think, what helped with that one too is the music video in the backyard. You know what I mean? That was the only music video you ever did. I'm pretty sure that had a lot of people. Most of the time you kind of go solo dolo, and that's kind of what you go for. That was a little different, a little out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, especially when you have a bunch of everyone is in it. Everyone's just gonna want to repost it like, hey, I was in this video, like, because a lot of people don't know the shit behind what music is. It's just like, oh, I was on this video, I'm lit, so they hype it up.
So looking back on BSC, obviously, we were all going up. We had the videographers to cover our people, doing shows like crazy. What do you think made it essentially fall apart? What do you think was, as much as you want to explain, what do you think was essentially made it fall apart? Because there was a time and a place where every artist in the area wanted to be part of it. I know for sure because I was getting hit fucking daily. I felt like there was a point where it was unstoppable. We were performing at Club 920, fucking 5 Fries Raw.
Like a fucking sideshow. Remember, I used to be like, I'm not doing no more club shows. It's always the same shit. They always just stare at you.
And you that first one though, you remember that one next to that, that one went crazy.
That one went up. It's like when it was new, like, oh yeah, they're performing at the club tonight. But when you're doing it every fucking Friday, and then you're going in the middle of nowhere performing at Hayden's birthday party, and then you're performing at the place that burnt down. Like it's just
you were literally doing shows like
anything was a show.
One per week for like 2 months straight.
Anything was a show.
And I remember you'd be like, you don't want to do it. I'm like, bro, you have to. I'd be making you do
We were getting scammed by very big artists. Yeah, we remember that shit. Yeah. We out thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of bread being scammed over there.
Fuck Chubbs.
Oh my god.
I stand on that.
But anyway, so what do you think was the reason why BSC fell apart?
When you have a lot of artists, you have a lot of demands, and and then you have a lot of competition too. And then just because everyone's an artist doesn't mean everyone's still a human being. So, I don't fuck with him because of this, or some people are just weird. Some people are just actual weirdos. So you just. It just didn't work because you got too many demands, too many personalities, too much shit going on to where you can't control it as a grown-ass man, especially with a bunch of other grown-ass men, because everyone wants to be the lead.
Yeah.
Or the head of the horse.
That was one thing I felt like was the problem too is, some artists felt like other artists getting pushed harder, or some even producers feel like, it was just like, I felt like it was kind of like I felt like the point of it was everyone was supposed to be competitive to an extent because you want to be better than the next artist, But at the same time, it's a good competitive, It wasn't supposed to be, oh, he's doing more views because this person's putting more effort into them, blah, blah, blah. I felt like it should have been a good competitive. But looking back on it, would you consider a success or a failure?
We were successful for what we were aiming for. Like, we wanted to make a group that everyone wanted to join. We did that. We wanted to have big shows. We did that. We wanted to, like, pretty much everything we wanted to do, we hit. It's just it kind of cuts short when, some people don't have the drive to never stop, basically, because there is no date or no time or no specific like arrangement for you to go up. You don't know shit. You just keep pushing, and if you go, you go. If you don't, you don't. So it's a gamble. So people get tired of that shit, and people like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. I wanna go work. I wanna go this. I wanna go be in a full blown relationship. And even though I did a lot of shit like that, I still stayed true to this shit because it's just what I do. It's just what I am. Like at this point, like anyone who fell off from it, it just wasn't them. Like I'm this. It is me. That's just basically like, that's what sets a lot of people apart because they're not like, even when I'm fucked up, like completely fucked up, this is on my mind. Like it's top 2 things on my mind, not top 3, top 2 things on my mind. Maybe some other shit is like I need to handle right now, but it's on the back burner to be handled. So like everyone's not like that. Everyone's problems don't like allow space for this because this wasn't really them.
So who would you say is your biggest inspirations in music?
Well, X was number 1, but I fuck with Trippy. I've always fucked with Jaden Smith, like Will Smith's son. Jaden Smith is like cold, like fashion, all that shit. I always fuck with that. Always fuck with Uzi, a bunch of the newer people. Really into Destroy Lonely, the whole Opium thing, the whole Ken Carson. I have Whole Lot of Red, like on my wall, like pins, like in the record, like on my wall. Like, so I fuck with that type of shit. A lot of pretty much, I don't know, I've always listened to everything. Like, even house music. Like, I fuck with, like, Calvin Harris and shit like that. Like, I listen to a lot of shit like that. Zilla Kami.
Yeah, I fuck with Zilla Kami a lot. I mean, a lot of the people you said I fuck with, but.
Like,
who's some of your favorite features? Because you, probably of all the artists in the area, you probably have the most industry features. I'd say who's some of your favorites that you've done, songs you currently have out?
I really like one of the recent ones that I dropped with Don Corleo. That one was tough because it's like at first I didn't really know how to do features. We thought like opens were features when like a feature usually costs more than an open because they're getting on your song and they're not just giving you a song that you have to fit.
Yeah. Type
deal. So yeah, I finally taught myself the definition of what a feature is, and I have to make the open and send the open or you're gonna get scammed or ran off on or really getting features period is a fucking is a gamble.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, you can get open. It can work out though. It's not like it's always
opens definitely work out too. Like the one we did with Billionaire Black. The one we did with Max the Demon. Max the Demon got us fed for life, bro. I don't know where you at. You in the bushes, the mountains, or whatever. You had a kid or whatever, but like you've been feeding us for life, bro. Like facts, like to this day. Like,
you know what's funny about that one too is I remember when you wanted to do that shit, I was damn near trying to talk.
I had Max the Demon on the phone. I still have the recording to this day. I was with Lil Jimmy. He was at my house on the east side of Green Bay. I had Max the Demon on the phone, and we were trying to send that shit forever. You were about to go to sleep.
Yeah, I remember that shit because
I was like, bro, come on, just send me the cash up, send me the cash up. I'll do it. You sent me the money. By the time you woke up, I had the feature. I had 2 features actually from him. Dropped one, didn't really do shit. Dropped the second one after you kept telling me to drop it and I wasn't gonna drop it.
Yeah,
and that shit went up.
You to do it.
That shit went up.
I was like, bro, you got it. You must
like
do
20K in a month.
Oh, I thought you were about to say 20K in drum. Like, it definitely is more than that.
Yeah, it was 20K. Like what? Like 50,000 alone on Apple. Like 20 or 32,000 to 40,000 alone on Spotify. Like, it was nuts. He definitely sold me one of those verses. He definitely sold to a bunch of other people, but like, he fucked up and gave me one that he didn't put out, or maybe he didn't. Shout out Max the Demon, whether you finesse me or not. I don't care.
So who's 3 artists you'd want to do a feature with in the industry that you haven't yet? I wanted to say that because you have other people you have.
Number one.
You don't have to put them or nothing too. You can just be whoever.
I want to do a song with Trippy, Cardi, and Yachty. Those are my three that I'm trying to work with right now.
Yeah, I fuck with Yachty a lot, man. I feel like he's having kind of a resurgence. I feel like
He hasn't missed. He literally hasn't missed. He just dropped Tesla. He hasn't missed.
All right, now we're gonna get to my favorite segment of the show. We're gonna get your top 5 local artists. So you don't have to put them in order or nothing, but give me your top 5, man. I know you're gonna hurt some people's feelings, but it is what it is.
I'm not gonna put them in order. I can't really rank nobody for real, but know what I'm saying, slick beats. You're the GOAT. People really do not know that you record yourself, you make your own beats, you do all sorts of shit, and you get zero praise for it. And you're the fucking GOAT. He's one of my top. You know, Saya is an acquired taste. Everyone doesn't bump Saya, but Saya, I feel like, is one of the coldest and put some of the craziest shit together. And forever, I will always do songs with him no matter what. So Saya, I put Saya up there. You know what I'm saying? Right. I put Nexus up there because even though Nexus goes dormant sometimes, whenever Nexus comes, he comes and he never misses and he always does numbers and his shit. Like, he has his own sound and his own everything, and yeah, he's just really underrated. And if the right person got a hold of him, he'd probably be out of here probably.
All right, number 4. I like the list so far too.
I'll put Sage up there. Probably one of the only people that could perform better than me.
Wow.
Technical, like, rapping, raps way better than me on a technical level. Like, I got him with the song making shit though. But like, I'll make a better song, but he definitely raps way better than me and all sorts of shit like that. Put Sage up there.
And last spot.
And
it's tough, man. One spot left.
Damn, that got me thinking about all the people out here. Really. Shit, can I do a top 10?
I'll leave you a top 6. We really need
a top 6.
But I was just gonna leave it at 5.
Fuck. All right.
Might have to leave it at 5 now. You're taking too long.
Fuck. I'll put bro, I'll pass on number 5, bro. I just don't know. Those are my top 4 though.
You'll do a top 4.
It's just too many people. It's too many people to name. Shit. But hey, honorable mentions, bro. Sparky Luciano. He's an acquired taste. Know what I'm saying? T Wood came out and got good really fucking fast. Has crazy ass shit. If he had the right marketing, be out of here. Shit, I just know so many people like that aren't even like from here, like even in the Madison scene, like Ice ATM, Tyler, all sorts of shit, like fucking run along films doing this whole thing, like, you know, a lot of people I just fuck with, you know. Leafy, I just met him when I was living in Milwaukee briefly. Went to Chicago and shot older me. Like, I fuck with him. Like, there's just so many people.
So another question that's popped in my head. So you've done a lot of shows. What are some of your favorite shows you can remember doing? 1, 2, 3. How many want to name off some of your favorite shows you've ever done?
I want to say Jim's Music was one of my favorite ones, and then the second one was the one we did with Jumex when we had Ayo Dante. Fuck, how the fuck did I forget? Ayo Dante, if he had the right fucking marketing, he'd eat everyone the fuck up. He is one of the best fucking artists to ever fucking breathe a fucking breath. He's real Sith Lord shit. Not even gonna cap. Facts. And yeah.
We'll make sure to clip that and send that to him. I know he'll like to repost that.
Bro, come on, bro. Yeah, reverse playback. Come on, bro. Stop playing. Reverse playback. He literally has a song on SoundCloud with 1 million. He does numbers on command. He will repost your song and you will get more plays on your song than you ever got, like, ever. Like, come on. Like, it's easy. It's easy out here.
Jumex crowd was crazy too. There was so many people there.
Jumex crowd was so fucking nuts. We need to do another situation like that. That shit goes crazy.
Yeah, I might have to bring him back just for that. I have some shows lined up, but that's not about that. Is it those two, or do you got a third one?
Shit, I don't really have a third one, but I have a show that went wrong. Like almost a show that I was doing in Madison. Shout out Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit put me onto the whole Madison scene. We shot a video, and then he introduced me to all sorts of people. Ice, all of you guys. Backwoods, Pride Backwoods, all sorts of people. Like I fuck with the whole Madison like scene, definitely.
You gonna talk about the show, or was that all you were gonna say? The show went wrong.
Oh yeah.
Explain it,
dude. I'm fried on my mind.
But anyway, I had a show go wrong. Shout out to all these people. Oh my God.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Shout out to the Madison scene. But yeah, I didn't perform because like I don't know, like I just don't play around like that. But like people were threatening to blow the venue down type shit. Know what I'm saying? Sprayed up. Know what I'm saying? We value life here, so we don't take threats lightly, and we don't I don't give a fuck if you bluffing or not. Just in case you not, I'm moving around.
Funny enough, is one of the only shows viewers I've never been to too.
I begged this man. I literally begged this man. You got to go to like a wedding or something.
Yeah.
I begged this man.
Yeah, I did have to go to wedding. That's what I was at.
I begged this man to come to the show. He had to go to a wedding, and yeah, almost got smoked. Almost got smoked in Madison. But shout out Madison.
Yep, shout out Madison.
Your city hall goes crazy.
So what's some of your future plans you got coming up? You don't gotta name exact, songs or whatever. Just roll out plans, anything in general. A little sneak peek maybe for the people.
Everyone will see, but I have a plan on a plan on a plan. I have a plan A through Z. I'm making up new letters, all sorts of shit. Even when I'm quiet, even when you count me out, there's a lot of all sorts of shit. I never speak. I show. I show everyone, and it's coming. It's on the way. I got crazy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm like it's never been about the city. It's fuck the city. We taking the world, bro. That's just what it is. Like,
do you have any advice for any other artists since you've been doing it longer? A
lot
of people look up to you.
With any other artist, like if you're a true artist, then you figure it out for yourself. Like no matter what anyone tells you, quit, do this, do that, is fuck them, and just keep doing what you do. If this is really a part of you, if this is really in you like that, then nothing that anyone says or does or conceives or tries against you will prevail if you really feel that strongly towards your craft that you could really do this shit. And I'm just one of those that doesn't think I know that I could do this shit. I'm doing this shit, and give me till October.
Give them till October. You got any shout outs before we turn the lights off?
Man, shout out everybody. There's so many people that I probably missed. I'm fucking with KOA at the Mob. We dropping some shit. But KOA at the Mob has been really big in what I've been doing lately. And yeah, we just got some crazy shit on the way, bro. I'm working with the biggest people. I'm still doing some local shit. I fuck with all of my local people that that we locked in. Michael Liriano, all sorts of people. I'm fucking with y'all. But like, I got big people on the way, big link ups, big networking, big moves, all that shit. I'm moving around.
That's what we like to hear, man. But we're gonna get up out of here. So, I gotta turn the lights off, all type of shit. But this is Gutt with Gutt Talk. I appreciate you coming out, man. Maybe in the near future we can get a part 2, or maybe get a couple music videos on the channel. I know the people are starving for it. They would love to see it. So let's get some more shit rolling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we running and shit. We out this bitch, Real Surreal 6 Heart Club shit. You already know what I'm saying.
Once again, this is Gutt with Gutt Talk. Appreciate y'all coming out.
Bitch.